Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Chad here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we've got another top 5 guns video for you. This is going to be the top 5 barbecue guns. We're going to go over that a little bit.
What does that even mean?
We're going to tell you here, okay? Definitely want to take a moment to thank the folks over at Sonoran Desert Institute for supporting 5 Guns videos and allow us to put this content out to you raw, unadulterated, unfiltered, and everything. They got some great programs if you want to learn more about gunsmithing, firearms technology, check them out. If you got unused GI Bill, definitely a great group of people to look into for higher education. Okay, so just to be clear, barbecue guns does not mean you propane guys. We're talking about real deal barbecue. So what is a barbecue gun?
So when Eric first mentioned this to me, I'm thinking, okay, barbecue gun, like, all right, you're sitting out there, you put a brisket on in the middle of the night to have it ready by the next day, and there's some critter in the yard. You got to have suppressed 22 or something with a light on it, something to take out a raccoon dog or something crazy. But that's not really the case. It's kind of like hanging out around the charcoal grill, the wood-fired grill, showing off cool guns. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
So for the purposes of today's video, a barbecue gun can be either a really fancy gun that you want to show off to your buddies, or it can be a utilitarian gun, which we have a few examples of, that you just go out and just shoot while you're waiting to cook. So it depends on what you're cooking, right? Like if you're cooking a brisket or a barbecue or something like that, where you're going to go slow and low and let it run a really long time, well, man, you got a lot of time to kill, so you might need to break out the 22. So why don't we get into the first one? Let's go with a 22.
Well, which one do you want to go with? We got 3 on the table. You want to go with the full Monty?
Yeah. Let's go full Monty.
So we're going to go full Monty for the first one. Right. This is a 22 AR SBR. This uses one of the CMMG 22 conversion kits, and it's actually a dedicated kit with a 4.5-inch barrel, and got a little Knights Armament rail on the front of it, a custom Liberty Centurion 22 suppressor, ACOG, yeah, on a 22, yes. And this one has a custom folding stock mechanism from a VZ58 that Ray helped me get on there. It's just a cool little fun plinking rig. And I saw this article the other day, and I sent it to Eric, and I was dying laughing. Literally, I never heard of such a thing, but there was a raccoon dog terrorizing some neighborhood in Britain. And I'm like, a raccoon dog? What in the heck is this?
And they can't even go out back and shoot the thing.
Dude, it was so crazy. There was in the story, they were chasing it off with like 2x4s, trying to get it out of the yard, but it was weird looking. It's like a big old fat tick of a raccoon with long legs. I'm like, if I would have seen that thing out there while I was cooking, this thing would have gotten the green laser on it and a little tick, tick, tick action. But these are fun to shoot. We've shown this off in several videos. We did a dedicated video on it forever ago with just a standard stock on there, and I've since replaced it. And we've shown this off a good bit with the M16 lower. It is super fun and super cheap to run these full auto. And it's just been a fun rig. It's one of my favorite little setups, and perfect little gun to hang out by the barbecue and shoot targets in the yard, or shoot critters, or, heck, shoot a squirrel or a rabbit and put it on the grill too.
Yeah, you never know when you want to have a little squirrel kebab to go along with your
Depends on how deep in the woods you are, I guess. You can shoot a possum and put it on the grill too, I guess.
I guess it depends on who you are, isn't it?
Ooh.
So I will just interject a very an instance that happened to me not too long ago. And, so a lot of times when we run slow and low on the grill, we'll run a brisket overnight. Okay, so I'll run it slow and low, we'll go to bed, and the next morning it's close to being done, right? So my dog, Lily, my Belgian Mal, Lily, she had to go take a whiz one night. And I let her out, and I heard howling out there, and I'm thinking, there has got to be coyotes out there.
Yep.
And they smell that brisket, and they're probably thinking, like, how close can I get to it, And anyway, that's an interesting rig there. So, not only a practical rig to shoot and have fun with, but also we get into more of like the kind of fancy-looking guns. So still staying in the 22 vein, this is a Ruger Mark IV that's been highly customized by Turnbull Restorations. And I bought this pistol for Chad for Christmas one year. I wish it was threaded because I know how much he likes suppressors, but it is a beautiful handgun, and every time you break this thing out, people are really impressed with it. But it's color case hardened action, okay? And it was just something that Turnbull was offering around Christmas time, and I think they they didn't do too many of them, but I saw them on the website and I thought, man, to get something that Turnbull's done for not a ton of money, I just thought that was a really cool option.
Yep.
Great Christmas gift idea is what I had in mind for that.
So we have this running thing between us, oh yeah, that's a Chad gun or that's an Eric gun. This is definitely a Chad gun because I love 22s and the color case hardening, like Eric said, is just gorgeous on this thing. And every now and again, companies will do either distributor specials or there'll be somebody like Turnbull that does a limited run of a particular firearm. At the time, the Mark IVs were very new to the market a few years ago. And we've shot this gun just a little bit and cleaned it. I just put it back in the safe, and it's just kind of a collector's item.
Yeah.
Just a neat gun to break out and be like, hey, check this out,
Yep, and I would imagine also that case coloring also imparts like a hardness as well. The surface is hardened. That's why they call it color case hardening. And I almost wonder if maybe that hardening adds even more rigidity, which maybe would enhance accuracy a little bit.
Maybe.
Okay.
I couldn't bring myself to thread it, though. Eric suggested it. He said, you can thread that thing and move the sight back. I'm like, I just can't do it, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
But too neat of a gun.
All right, so getting on to other kind of fancy customized guns. We have a full video on every gun on this table that we're going to show you. So if you look in the description box below, you'll see links to some of our other videos if you want to see full videos on all these guns. So we're going to sort of just hit on them real quick. So this is my wife's high power. All right, it's a Portuguese high power that's been highly customized. Okay.
Word of the day.
Yeah, highly by Robar, and this has their high power package. Now they can do a lot of different things in terms of the customization that they do on various handguns, but this package has a lot of bells and whistles, and I'm not going to try to off the top of my head tell you everything that's been done on it because the gunsmith over there, she does really, really great work on high powers, and she's pretty much their high power, sort of specialist, so to speak. It's got a lot of work done on it, but this was a gift for my wife because she does a lot of hard work for the channel, and she does a great job, and I wanted her to have something really cool, and she loves the high power as a handgun. So if you want to know all the details on this gun, check out our full video on it. It's definitely had a lot of stuff done. I mean, you've got all your stippling.
Yeah, I think the high points are probably the MP3 coating, the different stippling, the different stippling profiles are done. You got that stippling all across the top of the slide there to reduce glare. Night sights added. A lot of trigger work.
Yep.
I mean, super, super slick guns.
Yeah, and this one also has, I believe, they did the magazine disconnect delete on it, which if you guys know about high powers that have the magazine disconnect safety, it does hinder how good the trigger can be. Mm-hmm. So Robar, when they remove that magazine disconnect safety off of it, it improves the trigger a lot. And this one has extended beaver tail as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that.
But check out the full video. It's a really interesting pistol. It shoots really good. And it's just as smooth as it can be. And that's a barbecue gun. I mean, that's a fancy high power that you break out. If somebody's visiting your house and you're having a barbecue, you break this out and be like, hey man, you ever seen one of these?
Yep.
Sort of thing.
Well, let's get back down on the opposite end of the spectrum again, something utilitarian. So you guys know, if you've watched the channel for a while, you know that we love the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 compacts. These guns are, in our opinion, our collected opinion, probably the best 22 suppressor host on the market.
By far.
But this one, I had to modify the rail to drop a little Surefire XC1 on, but this is a nice and handy little package. And you just go out and, I kind of scan around the yard every now and again looking for raccoons or that sort of thing, or whatever the case is, but running a little dead air mask on the front of this one. And just great little handguns. Very utilitarian, very inexpensive. I mean, the handgun itself, usually these things are around the $350 mark, which is excellent for a threaded 22 caliber host.
They are by far my favorite 22 handguns. I love these things. I bought one, and Brandy wound up liking it so much that I had to buy a second one because I wanted her to have one of her own. Mm. And then we wound up throwing suppressors on both of them. And I tell you, in terms of just going out and just general plinking in the yard or whatever, this is by far the handgun that I shoot the most. Because it's cheap to shoot, it's quiet. I can shoot it all hours of the night. No one cares, no one knows. It's super quiet, and man, just they're great. And I think the accuracy is pretty acceptable.
It's definitely acceptable.
I've been very happy with the accuracy.
They're certainly not a target gun or anything like that. I mean, it's a 3-inch or less barrel. I mean, it's just a utilitarian plinking handgun. It's easy to carry, lightweight, and my kids love shooting this gun.
I would say it's probably minute of soda can at like 50 yards.
Yeah, give or take.
I mean,
right ammo.
Yeah, absolutely. I love them. And if you're hanging out with the buds this summer and you're having some barbecue fun and you break that out, trust me, people are going to love it. It may not be fancy, but it makes up for the fanciness and just being awesome and utilitarian.
Absolutely.
All right, so the last on our top 5 list here is going to be another Robar piece. This is a Kimber BP-10-2, and really, really cool gun.
Hey man,
and
that's a fat grip on that there 1911. What's up with that now?
that is a fat grip.
What's going on there?
That's because it's a double stack. Okay.
Oh!
So we got Metcar 14-shot magazine. So you have 14 rounds in one in the chamber. So you have a 15-shot 45 ACP 1911. And Kimber made quite a few of these. This pistol's no longer made. They are out there. You can find them. They did it in a commander size as well.
That's pretty cool.
So you can have the full grip, but with the commander length slide that they did in this pistol.
I love
as
the
well.
weight of those guns.
This pistol's been highly customized by Robar. This is another one of my Robar guns. It's just got hard blacked out Novak night sights. It's got the stippling on top of the slide. This is their Robar guard finish.
Rogard, yep.
Rogard. And their Robar texture, which is a texture package that they put on various polymer frame guns. And it's great. I really, really love this pistol a lot. It's great. I mean, it shoots really good. It's accurate. The trigger is wonderful on it. I like the generous capacity. And, you know, when you compare this handgun to like a Glock Model 21, don't get me wrong, I like the Model 21. I like the FNX Tactical, my FN. But this gun just, to me, has a more natural grip. It doesn't have that big blocky 2x4 feel that you get when you hold a Model 21. And it also doesn't have that funky, flat backstrap kind of grip angle that's on the FNX. I would say that it is more comparable to the FNX in terms of the grip angle.
I would say so.
But I would say that this grip, out of all of those 3 large 45 autos, is probably feels the best.
Probably.
It's just comfortable. It just really molds into your hand really well. I really love this handgun.
I've never been a huge fan of the 21 just because
It's like holding a 2x4.
I know. It doesn't fit my hand, John Level. I always have to give John Hill. But these are cool guns, and we did do a full video on this thing, and it does shoot really, really good. I mean, for what it is, it's a little bit hard to handle sometimes just because it is such a lightweight 1911.
It is.
This thing is super light. I mean, it's literally...
This is polymer frame.
It's literally just compare it to a Glock of the same size, like a full-size 17. There you go as far as the weight comparison. But I did buy that FNX just because I wanted 45 ACP suppressor host. And the grip itself is very comparable to it,
Yes,
like Eric said. So.
It is. So I like this gun because the capacity is generous. The work and the workmanship that Robar did on it is just fantastic. Of course, I mean you can't go wrong with anything from Robar. I know we had 2 Robar guns, but we tried to give Turnbull some love as well. All right, so let's go old world. What's the wild card? All right, if we were getting into the barbecue guns, and all right, say none of this is good enough, or maybe you got the discerning barbecue-y. What do you call a person who is a visitor to your barbecue?
I don't know, just a
All right.
barbecue attendee.
Your favorite barbecue attendee cannot be bothered by anything on this table. Maybe you have to break out a classic old military gun to break the deal with them, right? All right. So,
Hey man, you ever seen a Luger before?
Yeah,
Well,
hey.
yeah, man, I've seen Lugers. Well, you ain't seen one like this.
you guys ever seen a Luger? Yeah. Anytime you break out a Luger, guys, is always a talking point.
Why is it
okay?
always like? Why would we just go full redneck when we talk about barbecue?
I don't know, because it's just it's embedded in our blood. All right, it's just part of it. But here we've got a Swiss Luger, and beautiful, beautiful handgun. I mean, just fit and finish is wonderful. This is also Brandy's gun. This is Brandy's Luger, and it's great. They're just really cool, quirky, interesting pistols with a very rich history. And anytime you break something like this out, people are going to be instantly, infatuated with it. Especially if you're just one of those people like we are that just loves mechanics, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things that I love so much about firearms, and maybe it doesn't come across in the channel, maybe it does, but I just love the engineering too. once you get past the point of, all right, self-protection, hunting, all of the other things that we use guns for, right? Once you get past those basic ideas, it also becomes just an interesting feat of engineering. And even if you don't like guns, you have to appreciate the engineering that goes into that pistol.
Yeah.
The way it's made and the way it operates, it's just so fascinating.
I've always just enjoyed the fit and finish of Swiss military firearms in general. And you guys know from watching the channel, like we always say, that we are Swiss firearm nuts. But these Swiss Lugers are just beautiful, beautiful firearms. And, just all the little subtle details like the wood base plates on the magazines. You could find the wood base plates on a lot of the old German Lugers as well. But then they went over to a plastic composite of some kind. I can't recall. Bakelite and all. But you've got the Swiss crest on the base plate.
They did some out of alloy as well.
Yep. And then these are actually in 30 Luger as well, correct?
Yeah.
So these are not in 9mm.
Yeah, so it's a 30 caliber Luger, not a 9.
Very cool guns. And we've got a video on that one too.
They are, yeah. So we do have a full video on this pistol if you want to see it being shot. It's really, really accurate. We were getting some just insanely tight groups out of this handgun. And there's just something about the Luger that fits the hand so well. I know that poor old John Lovell and Paul Harrell, those two just go back and forth. But, poor old Paul Harrell, everybody gives him a hard time about this gun fits my hand better. I get that, whatever. But the thing is the Luger is one of the handguns that was literally made around the human hand. Mm-hmm. There's no way that you can't pick this gun up and point it and it not feel like an extension of your body. I mean, the Luger is such an art form. It's a piece of art. It really is. It's functional art. And so that's our wild card. Guys, we really hope that you've enjoyed today's video. What are your top 5 barbecue guns? Did we leave your favorite gun off? Is there something that we said that you didn't agree with, or are these guns not good enough? I mean, let us know what your barbecue guns are, and maybe we'll do another 5 guns video, and we'll choose some of our favorite answers, and we'll include your, if you'll, put your comment down below, we'll include your comment if we use your gun in one of the next top 5 guns for the next top 5 barbecue guns that you guys chose. So let us know what your favorites are.
Top 5 barbecue guns, part deuce.
That's right. That's right. So guys, thanks very much for watching today. We really appreciate all of you. All of the folks who support us on Patreon. If you support us through the purchase of man cans or merchandise and shirts over on the website.
This is a new one.
Yeah, that is a new one. Look at that. All right.
Yeah, baby.
Anything that you purchase goes right back into supporting the channel. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you next time. Many more videos on the way.
See you guys.